Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. So today, on the Vaishnava calendar, we have an anniversary of Srila Prabhupada's departure for the USA in 1965. So this is 55th anniversary since Prabhupada left India for USA. So you have a little bit here, something to read about it. When Srila Prabhupada, as a young man, first met his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told him to preach Lord Chaitanya's message throughout the whole world. Srila Prabhupada spent a lifetime in preparation. He was always meditating on how to fulfill his spiritual master's instruction. After many unsuccessful attempts, Srila Prabhupada finally found a sponsor in the USA, Mr. Gopal Agarwal in Butler, Pennsylvania, with whose letter of invitation Srila Prabhupada could go to America. He spent months before his departure obtaining his visa for the United States, his P-form, a statement from the Bank of India certifying that the person has no excessive debts in India and is cleared by the banks. He was also seeking supporters and contacts for his future Srimad Bhagavatam publication. Finally, on the 13th of August, 1965, so today's anniversary is in terms of Vaishnava calendar, rather than the Gregorian calendar. So finally, on the 13th of August, 1965, he boarded the Jaladuta, a regular cargo carrier of the Scindia Steam Navigation Company. Arun Pandya was the ship's captain. Srila Prabhupada had only a suitcase, an umbrella, and a supply of dry cereal. His main baggage, several trunks of his books, was being handled separately by Scindia Cargo. 200 3-volume sets of first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. The very thought of the books gave him confidence. In the Srila Prabhupada Vilamrita, we can read the following account of Srila Prabhupada's departure. Mr. Bhattacharya and Bhaktivedanta Swami took a taxi down to the Calcutta port. Bhaktivedanta Swami was carrying a Bengali copy of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which he intended to read during the crossing. Somehow, he would be able to cook on board, or if not, he could starve, whatever Krishna desired. He checked his essentials: passenger ticket, passport, visa, P-form, sponsor's address. Finally, it was happening. Srila Prabhupada speaking. With what great difficulty I got out of the country. Some way or other, by Krishna's grace, I got out so I could spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Otherwise, to remain in India, it was not possible. I wanted to start a movement in India, but I was not at all encouraged. The black cargo ship, small and weathered, was moored at the dockside. A gangway leading from the dock to the ship's deck. Indian merchant sailors curiously eyed the elderly saffron-dressed sadhu as he spoke last words to his companion in the taxi, and then left him and walked determinedly towards the boat. For thousands of years, Krishna Bhakti had been known only in India, not outside, except in twisted, faithless reports by foreigners. And the only swamis to have reached America had been non-devotees, Mayavadi impersonalists. But now, Krishna was sending Bhaktivedanta Swami as his emissary, Mr. Bhattacharya. He was a lone fighter. When he left, there was no one on the shore to bid him goodbye. No friends, no supporter, no disciple, nobody. Even if you call me, I was not a disciple of his. I was a disciple of somebody else. So I was not his follower. But due to shared love, I had very much respect for him. So I was the only person standing on the shore to say him goodbye. No one was with me. I could not know that it was such an important thing. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Reading from Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5. Chapter 1, text number 13. Bhavaya Nashaya Cha Karma Kartum Bhavaya Nashaya Cha Karma Kartum Bhavaya Nashaya Cha Karma Kartum Shokaya Mohaya Sada Vayaya Shokaya Mohaya Sada Vayaya Shokaya Mohaya Sada Vayaya Sukaya Dukaya Cha Deha Yogam Sukaya Dukaya Cha Deha Yogam Sukaya Dukaya Cha Deha Yogam Avyakta Dishtam Janatanga Dhake Avyakta Dishtam Janatanga Dhake Avyakta Dishtam Janatanga Dhake Bhavaya Nashaya Cha Karma Kartum Shokaya Mohaya Sada Vayaya Sukaya Dukaya Cha Deha Yogam Avyakta Dishtam Janatanga Date Bhavaya Nashaya Cha Karma Kartum Shokaya Mohaya Sada Vayaya Sukaya Dukaya Cha Deha Yogam Avyakta Dishtam Janatanga Date Bhavaya Nashaya Chakarma Kartum Shokaya Mohaya Sadavaya Sukaya Dukaya Jadeha Yogam Avyatadishtam Janatam Gradati
Bhavaya Nashaya Chakama Katu
Bhavaya Nashaya Chakarma Kartum
Shokaya Mohaya Sadavaya
Shokaya Mohaya Sadavaya
Sukaya Dukaya Chadeha Yoga
Sukaya Dukaya Chadeha Yogam
Abhyaktadishtam Janatanga Date
Avyatadishtam Janatam Gradati
Bhavaya Nashaya Chakrama Katum
Bhavaya Nashaya Chakarma Kartum
Sakaya Mohaya Sadavaya
Shokaya Mohaya Sadavaya
Sukaya Dukaya Chakraya Chakrama
Sukaya Dukaya Chadeha Yogam
Avyakta Dishtam Janatanka Dati
Avyatadishtam Janatam Gradati
Bhavaya Nashaya Chakama Kantu
Bhavaya Nashaya Chakarma Kartum
Sakaya Mohaya Sadavaya
Shokaya Mohaya Sadavaya
Sukaya Dukaya Chadeha Yoga
Sukaya Dukaya Chadeha Yogam
Avyatadishtam Janatanga Dati
Avyatadishtam Janatam Gradati Bhavaya Nashaya Chakarma Kartum Shokaya Mohaya Sadavaya Sukaya Dukaya Chadeha Yogam Avyatadishtam Janatam Gradati Bhavaya
Bhavaya
for birth, Nashaya
Nashaya
for death,
Buddha
Cha
Cha
also,
Also
Karma
Karma
activity,
Activity
Kartum
Karta
to do,
To do
Shokaya
Shakaya
for bereavement,
For bereavement
Mohaya
Mohaya
for illusion, Sada always, Vayaya
Vayaya
for fear,
Fear
Sukhaya
Sukaya
for happiness, Dukkaya for distress, Cha also, Deva Yogam connection with a material body, Avyakta by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dishtam directed, Janata the living entities, Anga or Priyavrata Date accept. Translation of Prabhupada by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear Priyavrata, by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities accept different types of bodies for birth and death, activity, lamentation, illusion, fear of future dangers, and happiness and distress. Purport. Every living entity who has come to this material world has come here for material enjoyment. But according to his own karma activities, he must accept a certain type of body given to him by material nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.27, Prakriti Kriyamana Nigune Karmani Sarvasha, everything is being done by Prakriti, material nature, under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Modern scientists do not know why there are varieties of bodies in 8,400,000 forms. The fact is that all these bodies are ordained for the living entities by the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the living entity's desires. He gives the living entities freedom to act as they like, but on the other hand, they must accept a body according to the reactions of their activities. Thus, there are different types of bodies. Some living entities have short durations of life, whereas others live for fantastic durations. Every one of them, however, from Brahma down to the ant, acts according to the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is sitting in everyone's heart, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya chaham hridasarishto matasmitra jnana apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. It is not a fact, however, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives direction to certain living entities in one way and other living entities in another way. The truth is that every living entity has a certain desire, and the Supreme Lord gives him a chance to fulfill it. The best course, therefore, is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and act according to his desire. One who does so is liberated. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Arunapam Tam Sajivam Sadhutam Savanitam Parijanam Sakitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Yutamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinamando Jagapati Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Satkanchana Govingi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sakdevi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpa Tarubhishya Kripasindhurecha Patitanam Pavanyo Vishnu Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Prabhum Nagayate Vikripāt Mahaviri Shri Guru Vinatā Saraswati Devi Guru Nami Prachani Guru Shishyavari Paschati Vishwapani. The translation again. With their Priya Brata, by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities accept different types of bodies for birth and death, activity, lamentation, illusion, fear of future dangers, and happiness and distress. The living entity comes to this material world in hope to enjoy this Ananda Mayogya Sat. Sometimes we analyze people, what makes this person tick, or what is inspiring this person. There is now like a psychology department is analyzing what makes people act, what makes people tick, what motivates them. And of course, this is exploited as well by big businesses to sell the products. If you know how psychology or human beings act, and your goal of life is to make a profit, and then you can sell more if you know the psychology. So what makes everybody tick in this material world, what is the motivating factor? And that's Anandama Yoga Sat. We are all looking for happiness. We are looking for pleasure. And if you decide to have happiness outside of spiritual world, in a sense, we want to enjoy separately from Krishna, we want to exercise our freedom. It's like, often children at certain point, they want to, how you call it, spread the wings and fly. Spread the wings and fly away. They want to exercise kind of their freedom. So, living entity, even it's born actually, or not born, or created to love Krishna, that's freedom, to spread the wings and live spiritual world, to try to enjoy separately of Krishna. What is it like? What is it like to be a supreme controller and enjoy it? So it comes with this desire to material world, to enjoy separately from Krishna. And Krishna is so merciful, like a loving father. He says, okay, he creates entire creation just to facilitate our desire. Imagine how kind is Krishna. He creates this whole world just to facilitate our desire to enjoy separately from him. He is so detached. Okay, if that's what you want, here it is. Here is a playground for you to enjoy yourself. However, it comes as a little package as well. Together with this, it comes a law of karma. Whatever you do comes back on you. So while we do want to enjoy, because the selflessness, it becomes transformed into desire to, the main focus of enjoyment, instead of being Krishna in spiritual world, it becomes us. My senses, how I can gratify my senses, how I can gratify my mind, physically, emotionally, mentally. We want to become like a center of that enjoyment. And when that mentality is there, the problem with this is that in order to get that pleasure, we have to do it at the expense of somebody else. If our focus is just to please Krishna, focus on, even in this material world, people who are more focused on other people, like serving them, helping them, even physically, emotionally, they're happier. But as soon as we are in the center and it's all about me and my own gratification, somehow or another, due to the selfishness mentality, we think that other people have to gratify my senses in order to be happy. It's not sufficient just I personally gratify my senses, but I want to gratify myself at the expense of somebody else as well. And this is where the law of karma then kicks in. And so this desire, this goal is self-defeating. This is a sad situation actually of the material world, that ours, quest for happiness is self-defeating from the very beginning, because of the mentality of me being in the center of that gratification, of that enjoyment. It's just, it doesn't work. It's not possible to achieve that happiness by putting oneself in the center, one's senses, one's gratification, one's own personal happiness. It just doesn't work. We have to somehow or another exploit others, to enjoy the body of others, to enjoy other people's mind, or somehow or another to get that happiness. It's somehow or another, it leads, even if you have a best intention, somewhere along the line, as we can see, like in this age of Kali, there is so much misery. So that means people, it just doesn't come and just fall from the sky for no reason. Everything has got its cause. Everything has a cause. So this misery has got its origin. That means somewhere along the line, despite all of our good intents, I'm just going to be a nice person, and I want, harm anyone, and I just I'm gonna enjoy myself to the max. As we can see, it just doesn't work because there's so much suffering, which means that we cause the suffering to others to get enjoyment from myself. If our goal is to be a supreme enjoyer, we have to step on many people's toes to get that enjoyment. Somehow, no matter how good a nice person we are, if we experience any suffering in our life, it means we caused it to others. And that's why when we read about the body and getting and accepting the body in this, we get like we come to this material world and we get like a uniform. So that dress, wherever you go to a special occasion or something, you dress up. But in this material world, according to your desire and what do you want, and in whichever way you want to enjoy, you get a uniform. This material body. You get the body to satisfy your desires. So you get a certain package, and as you can see, this package it comes with a certain qualities, with certain experiences. It's a big thing nowadays. It's becoming a massive industry. In fact, is the experience. What kind of experience you want to get? Now people are prepared to spend money. It's shifting actually from getting an item, getting some sort of physical object. Of course, it's still big, like phones and gadgets and homes, cars, etc. It's still very big. But also people are, due to their strive for happiness, they're starting to realize that actually experience is a little better than having an object, because the object, you get a little bliss. Okay, I just got a new phone and that kind of thing, and you get like a little glimpse. Oh, fantastic! I just got a new phone, but the day after, a couple of days later, it kind of fades away. It lasts a little longer if your phone is a better than everybody else's, or your car is a better in a village, or your phone is better in your school, or class or something. Then you can, your happiness lasts as long as somebody gets like a better gadget than you. Because for the time being, you think, look at me, I got the best gadget. But then somebody else gets a better one, and your happiness, it becomes like envy or jealousy, or you start to think, I need to get another gadget, to get on the top. So a lot of people are kind of shifting a little bit from that and thinking, okay, I'm gonna pay some money for an experience because it's kind of, it gratifies me. I had a great time. There's a nice memory, and even if, because of those gadgets, people, when they have a great experience, they start taking a photo, they start taking a video, and they distance themselves from the experience just to try to register to show to everybody else. But their experience goes down because they, instead of being in it, they are actually making a photo of it or making a video of it. They're not participating in it, but they want to kind of show it. Look, I had a nice experience. Just like, so many people go to the concerts, and I've been told, I've been to like a rock concert for a while. But nowadays people go there and there's a favorite band playing, they're making a video of it. So instead of like participating in experience, this is how the material energy tricks us actually from the enjoyment. We think we have all those gadgets now to register our experience, but we're going for experience, and instead of getting really into it, we're just filming it. And it's not the same, to observe the experience than instead of participating. It's not the same thing. So anyway, it is becoming a big thing, get this experience, that experience, go to this place, experience this, go to this trip, etc. So experience is kind of a little bit higher thing than just getting a gadget. So the same for the soul, you know, is looking for an experience. Is looking for the experience because is looking for that ultimate experience of connecting with Krishna. You can turn the light on. Actually, it's a little gloomy.
You don't see me.
Hmm?
You don't see me.
That's
Try smile.
the main reason.
Experience.
Yeah, the experience of seeing you.
Yo, man. Lights, action.
Yes, as you can see, you know, we want to be in the center. You get that experience of being in the center.
Yeah.
Totally time I prefer. Okay. So the soul is looking for the experience actually because the soul, there is no greater experience than being in a connection to Krishna, exchanging the rasa. Rasa is considered the highest experience the soul is looking in relationship with Krishna. Is an exchange. It's not an impersonal thing, but you know the exchange that you have. And people don't have it so much nowadays. Actually, the greatest experience is to have a loving relationship. But even that is carrying in this material world so many negative experiences because of those negative relationships. People interact with each other in a mode of darkness, ignorance, and passion. Passion means exploiting other body for my gratification. I use the other body for gratification on myself and other, objects. And ignorance means I enjoy harming other person, insulting other person. Is my happiness to insult, find fault, get angry at somebody else. You don't even think that actually anger is an enjoyment, but actually we become so conditioned that we enjoy to be angry. We enjoy to be resentful in a sense that is an experience, is a rasa. And by contemplating an object through the senses, a person becomes attached to them. So one can become attached to the experience of anger. One become attached to the experience of resentfulness and the various types of passions and that comes, gratification. Like sex life is very, very addictive because it gives a certain kind of experience. But the soul is looking for the experience, not some impersonal merging and finishing one's existence. That's not, people get frustrated with experiences in this material world, in spite of their fact they're trying to find this ultimate, amazing experience of holiday, of jumping from the parachute, or having this newer and newer experiences of like a different partner, and one day another one, another day another one, another day another one, just trying to explore, try to get that gratification, and they are frustrated. And if they turn to spirituality, they find okay, it's all actually a misery, and they just have to finish my all experiences and just merge and finish, and then the problem solved. Some people go towards that suicidal type of spirituality. Okay, I just merge, and sometimes people call it I just merge into love. But if your identity is finished, your experience is over. Okay, there is no misery, but your experience is finito, game over. That's it. There is no more experience. You got your relief from the misery, but the experience of anything is finished. There is nobody to experience it anymore. People want to merge in Brahman, but the experience is finished. Yeah. So the ultimate experience we're looking for is that relationship with Krishna. So people are so much frustrated and misery, and they find so many means to overcome it. And you read about this package that we get is more positive, negative than positive. Birth and death. When the kid is born, it's not like a joyful at that moment anyway. It's not really a happy experience to be born, or to speak about that. lamentation, illusion, fear of future dangers. That's another package that we get with the body. You know, we try to protect it, we try to look after it, we fear it's gonna get old, we fear what's gonna happen in the future. Now this pandemic as well is gonna be another spike, etc. There's so much fears in relationship with the body, and then happiness and distress, so the mixed. Usually we get a lot of mixed experiences. We get some experiences of happiness, less like after a pandemic. Usually the happiness is a relief. After a pandemic, people were queuing up to get to the pub, you know, with the happy faces, etc. But that happiness is a relief. I just been locked down. I just been locked down for 4 months, and we get this relief when we get out of the lockdown and feel a certain degree of freedom. So actually, we've been locked down for many births. Material world, we've been in this heavy lockdown, and we don't even realize it. It becomes the new normal, as they call it nowadays. They use this vocabulary, new normal. So a soul who is looking for ultimate freedom, is looking for this ultimate experience of love and exchange with Krishna, it becomes adopted and accepted as a new normal. Like even like this classical example is used, you know, like a pig, it's in this dirt and it's eating various obnoxious substances, and it's kind of happy, it's okay. So it become a new normal. We accept a certain type of body according to our desire, and we become absorbed in that body to enjoy and gratify the senses, and it becomes a new normal to be in that body. For the soul who is eternally blissful, happy, and joyful, it becomes a new normal to be in this body that is temporary. We have so many limitations. And we don't even realize, you know, like, you know, for 4 months we've been in a lockdown, and a lot of people are getting really, really desperate. But some people said, okay, this just became a new normal. This is the way we live now, and we just carry on, no problem. So some people just accept it. You kind of get used to it, especially if you're like a younger person. Sometimes when you become more senior, it's difficult to adopt and adjust, you know, to the changing circumstances. You know, there is like this need for more kind of security, etc. But like some of the young people are a little more flexible. Okay, this is now a different situation, and I just do it. I mean, it's not in all cases. There's always exceptions. But there is this adaptation, and yeah, it becomes normal. It's fine now. Or you know, like a person who goes to jail in the beginning is very, very miserable, etc. But some people just eventually, I got my TV, I got my satellite television or something, and I'm reading some books, and I get my food, and it become accepted. Yeah, it's fine, you know, it's a new normal. But when you come out, you know, out of lockdown, and then you're getting to go to a park, you're getting to do things that you like, you think, my God, you don't even realize, you think, I was missing this so much. This is so great. This is wonderful. So when we come to Krishna consciousness and start to experience that freedom and that connection with Krishna, we feel that Krishna makes us sometimes this magical arrangement, and we feel that he cares for us, that he loves us. There's some mystical things happen in our life, and you know, we go through some struggle, etc. You know, it's so uplifting. It's like a freedom that you start experiencing a real sense of freedom, where we started to get free from some anarthas, anger, envy, greed. We realized that we've been prisoners of those emotions of anger, greed, envy, lust, pride. We realized we've been prisoners. We've been locked down to anger. If you started becoming a little bit free from it, it's such a great freedom. But this is just negating the negative stuff. But we want to look and get into more and more into that positive connection to Krishna. And it's described sometimes the experiences that we get in this material world, if we just put everything together, obviously there is a nice, we just have some nice experiences. It's not just totally gloomy, but when you know the senses get gratified, we get various glimpses of the real thing of the spiritual world, because this material world is a reflection of the real thing. So the new normal we accept, like we're sitting in a flat, we are totally locked down, but when the the order from Asda arrives in our house, we are happy. This is wonderful. Or Tesco, we get a little chocolate or something. This is fantastic. So we can say, yeah, we can say that there is no such experiences. Yeah, but you accepted that this experience in the new normal. You think just getting the Asda, thing, or the new gadget that you order by sitting in lockdown home, you receive a new gadget and you think, okay, I'm happy now. Yeah, it is happy, but there is a life outside of lockdown. So this is what Krishna consciousness is all about. There is a life outside of the lockdown in this material world, the real life of bliss and knowledge. And this is what we're inviting everybody to experience. It's really experiential. In looking for the experience, for the ultimate experience, going through all different places. We're saying, we have the ultimate experience. Come, and get it. It's there. And actually, if you accumulate all those different experiences, the Shastra says, it is an ocean of tears, actually. It is an ocean of tears. Generally speaking, if we're honest to ourselves, and maybe we had a great life due to good karma, but if you add up, if sometimes we see a person going through a lot of misery, and we think, okay, I never had this, I'm fine, but actually it's a fact that we had the same misery in our past lives. Maybe this life we had a great life because we were, pious in the last life. We're going through good experiences because we were pious. And that we're seeing another people who's going through misery, and we feel sometimes superior to them, or you look at a homeless person, actually it's very good chance we've been like this in our past life. And in one sense, being outside the spiritual world, it is a properly being homeless. There's every single person in this material world is homeless in a sense that we are outside of our original home. When we say back to home, back to Godhead. So that means we are not in a home now. Despite of all our security, we have these big houses, big cars, or small houses, small cars, and we feel a sense of security. We think, I am at home. We are not at home. We are not getting the ultimate experience. Our home is somewhere else, in the spiritual world. Our real eternal home is there. So when we put everything together, it is an actually ocean of tears. And there's this wonderful verse, which I can't tell exactly which verse, but it's in the third canto. That smile of Krishna can relieve an ocean of tears. This is what we want to see, that ultimate experience of seeing a beautiful, all-attractive smile of Krishna. It dries out, it says. In fact, this is in teachings of Lord Kapila, third canto. It's there's a few chapters about teaching of Lord Kapila where he describes the beautiful form of the Lord, and when he comes to the smile of the Lord, that Bhakti Yogi can meditate on the smile of the Lord. That smile of Krishna dries out the ocean of tears. That's what we want. That's the experience we want to get. And this is just the beginning. When the ocean of tears are dried out from the misery of this material existence, having this body, when you're free from lockdown to this body that accompanied with anger, lust, fear, greed, delusion, and so many other things. And you get this freedom. And then you start experiencing the smile of Krishna. This is just the beginning of that ultimate experience. So I want to stop here and ask for any questions or comments. Yes. Yes, please.
You said people outside when they come out of lockdown, they start queuing for the pub, etc. What are we going to queue at when we go out? We queue at another church.
But we queue up?
When we go out of here,
Yes.
where do we queue? Do we queue at another church or something?
Yeah, whether you like to go then. You would like to No, if we are having that ultimate experience, that's the only thing actually when you starting to awaken that experience of your relationship with Krishna, when that matures in a serious way, then you want to queue up to help others to experience it. You know, if you, because if people in the lockdown, you may just accept it as a new normal, and you may like go to a friend and knock at the door when the pandemic is over, and he opens the door and he says, hey, the pandemic is over, you can come out. I said, no.
I'm happy.
I'm happy here. That happened to one Japanese soldier. He got kind of somewhere in the how do you call it, in an island, you know, and the war is over. Was it 20 years later? He's still there, you know, and you know, somebody was trying to get to the island to rescue him, and he was like you know, I think he still had a gun or something, you know, he was shooting, or, you know, something like that, you know, he wasn't going to Mount before the war is still on, you know. So then the airplane, they threw like a newspapers above the island, and he can read that the war is over, you can come out now, you know, and then he read it, and I think he got rescued eventually. So like, you know, we may be in that lockdown, and we, you know, or our friends in the lockdown, we come and say, hey, come out. I said, I'm fine. I'm getting my Asda deliveries. I'm watching TV. I'm cooking a feast every day. I'm getting, you know, government support, universal credit. I'm totally fine. But we know it's not fine. You know, come on, there is you know, fun in a park, and we're doing some chanting, some nice prasadam, and there is some wonderful devotional service just come up. So that's the only thing, you know, that we you know, a devotee who is Krishna consciousness becomes mature. He wants to queue up to share the experience that he has with Krishna. She has with Krishna. Did you have something? Okay.
I just would like to share something.
Please.
When I was reading this verse, this nice verse,
Mhm.
there is one word in the center, almost in the center,
Mhm.
and this word is accept.
Accept.
Yeah, it's almost in the center of the text. No? I found it very fascinating. And I was considering about everyone's childhood.
Mhm.
And when we get birth, and is the first year, we think we are always happy, we can enjoy everything, and we are almighty, we just cry, and our parents take care for us. And I think about after 1 year at least, there is a big awakening, no? that we see, okay, there is not always joy and happiness, there is also lamentation and illusion and tears, and later on when we go to kindergarten, we see we don't have only rights, we also have duties to do, and like this, and then step by step in our life we can see we have to accept this and we have to accept that. We cannot always enjoy, and like this is just I wanted to share.
Normal. And then, you know, we leave this material body to take another birth. Sometimes it's higher birth, sometimes it's lower birth. And we accept that new body as a new normal, and we just kind of carry on, birth after birth after birth. So there is a life outside of lockdown. You want to get locked down to Krishna's lotus feet. As Janamani Goswami was saying, you want to also get locked down to Krishna's mercy, Balaram's mercy that he got locked down to the instructions of spiritual master in order to achieve the ultimate freedom. So your Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai,
Yeah.
Nitai Gaura Prema.
Yeah.